had like a breakdown and I cried the entire night because my body isn't sustaining my child.
Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Oh, this video is on two sisters, or really a family, who is pretty controversial, and whether I agree with them or not, I thought that the conversation that they had in regards to this topic was an important conversation to discuss and talk about on my channel. Kourtney and Khloe Kardashian talked about breastfeeding on Kourtney Kardashian's channel. Growing up, my mom had the Kardashians on 24/7 playing in the background of the house. I remember Kourtney Kardashian breastfeeding her first child and being pretty public about it. Now as an adult, I see how cool that really is, because not many celebrities share those things, and I think it's helpful when celebrities do share struggles and real life things like breast or chest feeding. So us people who might be fans are like, wow, maybe I should try that, or we could feel less alone by them doing that, and we can realize that, hey, celebrities are real people. We're all human. But Kourtney pretty openly breastfed or pumped on the Kardashians, and there's different pictures that went around online with her pumping or breastfeeding. In this video, Kourtney talks to Khloe about Khloe's difficult time breastfeeding. This is going to be my opinion of breastfeeding and social media. Social media can be a great place for people to connect, but social media can also be a very toxic place when sharing any sort of information, whether it's personal, whether it's just an opinion. There is a debate on social media constantly where fed is best or breast is best. Personally, I believe that choice is best. I think that being informed and educated is super important when making a choice, because you want to be informed, you want to be able to make an informed decision, and whether it helps you choose to do it or to not do it, at least you learned about it. We don't know everyone's story, we don't know what everyone's been through, we don't know their struggle. I understand that on each side we all get kind of ramped up and we all have our own opinions, and that's great. But I don't like how we tear people down for choices that they make in their life when it doesn't harm anyone. And it might not be what we do in our life. We may not think that it's personally best. It may not be the biological norm. It may not be the healthiest option. But they're just trying to get by. Parents are really important when creating an environment for a happy and healthy child. If someone chooses to bottle feed formula or use donor milk or just simply not breastfeed, I don't believe that it's my business whatsoever. It becomes my business when someone asks me about it. I really don't like unsolicited advice. I believe that unsolicited advice falls hand in hand with mom shaming. And I know that a lot of us have opinions on mom shaming, whether it's important that we mom shame or not mom shame. I think that sometimes people do feel defensive when someone comes to them with a genuine concern. And that's the thing on social media. Everyone has opinions, everyone has concerns of things. And sometimes they try to be helpful, but I think that they do it in a way that just creates drama and a situation that no one really wants to be in. Because when you're a new parent and someone gives you unsolicited advice, I already feel defensive. You know, we all parent differently, and when someone comes in and tells me what I should be doing or what I need to be doing, in their opinion, it's kind of hurtful and it's upsetting, because I'm trying and I'm doing my best. And that's all you can do as a parent, is simply do your best. Because no one's perfect. No one has parenting figured out. That's what everyone's goal is, right? Is to simply do their best as a parent and to raise a happy and healthy child. There are a lot of genuine concerns about things like car seat safety, sleeping safety, and stuff like that. And that's what people get into deep discussions or arguments about on Facebook, and sometimes they get into arguments about breastfeeding. Now, if there is a genuine concern of a child's safety or of a parent's safety, I don't think that it's right to just out them and blast them all over Facebook. That just seems really inappropriate to me. But also, I have the same state of mind where it's not my business, period. But some people really do want to help, and I respect that. I mean, that's great that they are able to reach out and they want to offer help. But when you offer help, I think that you need to offer real help and not make the person feel attacked, maybe with a personal message, maybe with a letter or a text message, or ask them to meet you in person if that's possible. And figure out how you can help them and not attack them. I think that that's a huge thing on social media, is that things get misconstrued very easily and people often feel attacked when you're trying to help them. So just try to steer clear of that if you're one of those people that really does care about other children and other children being safe and you want to help. Sometimes the problem could be that parents can't afford a certain thing. They weren't educated on a topic or well informed on the topic, and it's okay to inform people. It's okay to say, hey, can I say something to you or suggest something, instead of just simply being like, your kid shouldn't be blah 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 blah. I think that if you really want to help, there's a way to help. Maybe my way isn't the best way. Maybe it's not. That's just how I feel. Is breast best? Is fed best? Like I said, I believe that choice is best. And that's just me. I know a lot of people won't touch formula. A lot of people won't put their baby on their boob. And really, that's none of my business. So Kourtney and Khloe discussed Khloe's difficult time with breast or chest feeding.
Khloe Kardashian shared a tweet that said, I had to stop breastfeeding. It was really hard for me to stop emotionally, but it wasn't working for my body, sadly. Pop Sugar shared an article on that, and I'm going to read some of that. Now that she's come to this decision, however, Khloe is appreciating having that pressure lifted after previously spending all of her downtime stressing to produce more for the next feeding. She said, I fought and fought to try and continue, but when I actually stopped, I didn't realize what a relief it was for me to not stress and worry anymore. That's not to say that she didn't give it her best effort. In other tweets, Khloe said that she tried every trick in the book, including power pumping, lactation cookies, massages, and even help from a lactation specialist. I tried so very hard to continue, she said.
She got a lot of support from people supporting her decision to bottle feed and formula feed. And that's great. That's what we need. We need to be uplifted and supported in whatever decision we make, because it just makes it that much harder on the parent when they make a very important and personal decision for their baby and get a lot of backlash. For example, with breastfeeding, when people get shamed for breastfeeding in public, I don't believe that that's right. That can make a parent not want to breast or chest feed in public. This might sound dramatic, but if the parent is out a lot with their child and they don't want to breast or chest feed and they have to run to their car or the bathroom and things get uncomfortable, maybe their baby will start not wanting to latch. Maybe they'll just become uncomfortable with breastfeeding altogether because they're out so much and they choose not to do it. And then that hinders their decision to want to breast or chest feed, and then they stop and then they regret it and they're very angry with themselves. Again, that's a dramatic scenario. Other people shaming parents for what they're trying to do when they're trying to do their best can really be hurtful. Khloe mentioned that she had a difficult time breastfeeding because she was unable to see what her body was putting out. I know as a childbirth educator and doula, breastfeeding runs on to supply and demand. So the more you nurse, the more you'll make. And Khloe was struggling already. She was going through a lot of things in life that I don't want to mention because I don't know exactly what she was going through. But a lot of us have seen a lot of things online that Khloe was going through during that time. And that can be very hard already. If breast or chest feeding was hindering how Khloe felt, she needs to do what's best for herself and her child, and that's none of anyone's business. So I think that that was a good decision that Khloe made in regards to her health and her child's health. I'm glad that she shared that she had trouble not seeing how much she was making, because a lot of parents go through that, and that is a lot of parents' fear, that they can't see how much their baby's getting, they don't think their baby's gaining weight, or maybe their baby isn't gaining weight. Maybe they can't get enough milk out when pumping. Maybe they think that they're not pumping enough when they are. I think that we fail new parents every day with the lack of support that we have to offer. That's why I think that postpartum planning is super important when you're pregnant. I think it's important to plan for the postpartum period. Gather whatever free information that you can gather before you have your baby, especially on breast or chest feeding. Breast and chest feeding may be the biological norm, but it's not the answer for everyone, and it doesn't always come naturally. That's something that I like to say. Breastfeeding might be natural, but it doesn't come naturally to everyone. Khloe shared that Kylie didn't even want to breastfeed, and that is her choice, and that is what it comes down to. We all should have the choice. Some people may be very uncomfortable with their bodies, and may not even want to breastfeed, and that's okay too. Chloe said that she would never whip her boob out in public. She would probably have used a cover if she breastfed in public. She said that she was mostly in her house after her baby. Chloe said that she was uncomfortable with that. And I'm all for public breastfeeding, but again, this is a personal choice. I will public breastfeed all day, every day. I'll public breastfeed a 7-year-old. If my child's still breastfeeding, then I don't care. Chloe said that she was uncomfortable with that and she would have covered up. And that's cool. Chloe said that her nipples were bleeding a lot, and this can happen for many reasons. Sometimes your nipples just bleed because they're dry and cracked and you might just need some nipple cream. But sometimes it can have to do with a latch or a breast shield. Those are things that parents should really look into if they really want to have a breastfeeding relationship. And also having a lactation consultant. And this again can be a financial issue maybe, but if you do have some sort of government insurance, sometimes you can find a lactation consultant that's covered by your government insurance. Someone without insurance might run into a problem with this, but you can also look up sliding scale lactation consultants or doulas that specialize in that. Sliding scale is great. That is like pay what you can in some situations. Your experience with your first child with breast or chest feeding does not mean that the same thing will happen with your second child. It's a completely different pregnancy, baby, and postpartum period. So Chloe's advice was to not give in to the pressure of other people, pushing something onto you that you simply don't want to do. And I think that that's great advice, to do what's best for yourself and your child. And I agree, that's what we should be doing. I'm proud of Chloe and Kourtney for sharing such an important topic. I know I didn't share much of what they said. This is just my opinion on different things that they brought up in their conversation. My own advice is to plan for the postpartum period and for breastfeeding if that's something that you really want to consider doing. But I really think that education is always key if it's accessible to you. Always try to look up people that offer sliding scale prices and things like that. Some things are accessible, it's just hard to find. Not all of us have the privilege of receiving help or medical attention or education or even support from family or friends. Not all of us have friends. Not all of us have family that's supportive or there for us or in the picture. Not all of us have a partner. Our society can be super dismissive to new parents, whether they have an issue with breast or chest feeding or they're feeling a certain way and they get dismissed by saying, oh, at least your baby's healthy, or well, you just gave birth, like give it some time. And then you give it time and it doesn't get any better. No one explains the struggles that you might face in a helpful way to where you'll know what to do when you're there. People just scare you, tell you misinformation. I'm gonna read some unsolicited advice that people on Facebook have shared with me that they received in regards to breast, chest feeding, or bottle feeding. This advice is not only unsolicited, but a lot of misinformation has been provided to us that can hinder a breastfeeding relationship or bottle feeding, or just be hurtful to a new parent.
Someone on Facebook was told that feeding their baby formula increases the risk of SIDS. Another commenter's husband didn't want their partner to breastfeed without a cover in public. Someone else in the comments was asked a lot of personal and hurtful things, like why aren't you breastfeeding? Did your milk not come in? You know that breastfeeding is best, right? And are you at least pumping? A parent whose baby was adopted was asked, why are you even breastfeeding or pumping? He's not even your son. Someone else was asked why they breastfed their toddler. If he's still hungry, maybe you should try formula. I can't believe you just whip your boobs out anywhere to feed. His legs are skinny, so maybe he's not eating enough.
There is judgment all around, and it's okay that we all have different opinions. That's just life. You do what is best for you and your child and what makes you feel good about your parenting. It can help some people to see that they're not alone when they see a celebrity talk about these issues. And I think that it's important that celebrities share these issues that everyone faces because it creates a public conversation on very important topics. So regardless of how you feel, even if you don't agree with the Kardashians, I think that we can all agree that some of us have faced this. Do I think that we educate our society enough? No. Do I think that there's enough support for our society? No. Do I think that support and education are easily accessible? No. Please let me know how I'm doing in the comments. Subscribe if you're into my videos. It would really help me to get a few more subscribers. Turn on the notification bell. You can be notified every time I post. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.
So they gave me this weird piece of machinery. It hooks onto my bra strap. I put whatever breast milk I can pump, and formula in it, and then I tape it to my breast. It has like a little tube that I tape to my breast. He latches onto my breast and he eats through the tube and my breast. This is not at all ideal, and at best it will help my milk supply by the extra stimulation, and at worst it was worth a shot.